Oh, I love macaroni. Oh, g'day, how you going? This is Health Highlights. My name is Simon Ashley. Health Highlights is a show about health, health professionals, and the people and the stories behind the names that we often hear about, but we seldom get to meet. And today, we are here at the headquarters of Healthful Pantry, one of the most successful organic stores or groups in the whole of the Lake Macquarie area. So we're really excited to be speaking to the CEO, Sonia, and also Wendy, who is the founder of Healthful Pantry. Welcome, Wendy.
Hello, how are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, you may not realise that there was a study that was just done recently that actually looked at the foods that we eat at home. And 80% of the foods that we eat are moderately or highly processed. So that was the statistics that came back throughout Australia and also into America. So that is really sobering, and that's why it's so important that we actually have healthy choices and options out there to look at different options around health and healthy lifestyle. So hence, here we are at Healthful Pantry. So can you tell us, Wendy, what is the story behind Healthful Pantry? How did it get started?
It was about 8 years ago, maybe even 9 or 10 now. And I was on a journey with my son, who had been diagnosed on the autistic spectrum, and we looked into food and started reading labels. We were like a takeaway family that used to eat McDonald's, and we used to spend probably $400 in groceries at the supermarket. All the packets, does things like that because it was convenient with 3 kids. And I realised what a difference the food made to his behaviour. Like, it was really like the bread preservative just sent him completely off the air.
Wow.
And so I just decided that we do need to journey along healthy foods, and then I found out about organics and how important it was to reduce the organics and the chemicals out of your the food. And so I started going to health food shops, and my husband's German, so we started looking at rye grain and oat groats and things like that because he wanted to make rye bread and not eat the plastic bread that Australians have. And so we always got rancid things from the shops because we were looking for things that aren't used that often. And so every time the kids would go, "Oh, this tastes funny," and it was rancid. And so I started looking into other options, and I found a friend, Nat, who used to buy from have a co-op in Sydney, and so she had just moved up here. And so I got we ordered together, it was only 4 families, and we just ordered this, and I was so excited when I got this pantry order that I just couldn't hide it. I just was so excited. And so that's how Nat said, "Oh, you do the pantry things then," and that's just started in my house. We started with 4 or 5 families, and then over, I don't know, probably 3 years I did it in my house, maybe longer from...
So actually, when did you think, I could actually do a business rather than just get it for myself? How did that sort of come about?
I had 4 kids by then.
Yep. Well, that's a business in itself, isn't it?
And I was also working as a stenographer, so it was a bit hard for me too, but my friend Sonia, it got up to 50 families in our house, and my husband said, we either need to go bigger or smaller, one or the other. We can't do 50 families every 2 months in our house. We had 2 tons of food delivered to our driveway, and it was a bit massive. So my friend, who's been a dear friend for 25 years or something, I just said, how about you take it over? She was a medical secretary, just, reporting on all the bad things, cancer. And she said, I want to be on the other side and be on the preventative. I still remember that conversation.
Awesome.
I want to be on the preventative side. So that's how Sonia took it over, and I stepped back. And so now I just come to help out as a lending ear and help out.
So good. I just love the fact that there's a story behind the business. It's not just a business out to make money. It's actually a business out to really help people and really help people who are going often through health crises. Thank you,
and
Wendy.
I just love being there for people that have got kids now that are on the spectrum and things like that, to help them along the food journey. And
absolutely, that's very important. So thank you, Wendy. So now it's a great privilege to have the CEO of Healthful Pantry now, Sonia, who Wendy was just talking about, joining us now. Thank you, Sonia.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about the heart and the philosophy behind Healthful Pantry.
Well, it began with Wendy's heart and soul and family needs. My family was travelling along in similar ways. I had some with an allergy, and I just found the need to find good, healthy food. Because I was a single mum and I didn't have lots of money, I also needed to find a way to help my family. So I felt that I was helped, and that in turn makes me feel good now because that's what we do. We help other families in the same way. The same philosophy is still, it started in a certain way and it's still continuing now.
Wonderful.
People working together, helping each other.
Absolutely. So that personal experience, how much has that shaped the way that you've actually set up this whole business now? Like, has that really shaped the way that you do the pricing, the way that you build the business? Can you tell our audience a little bit about that?
Most definitely.
Yeah.
It has to be run as a business. There are costs. We've got a warehouse that we run from.
Yep.
So I have to look at it as a business. I did spend quite a few years as a manager within medical practices as well, as secretary. And that helped me learn a little bit about budgeting and working out how to keep the costs down as low as possible. So that's part of what I do.
Yep.
We don't buy flashy packaging in the items that we repackage. We keep everything down. I don't turn all the lights on in the warehouse all the time. I only use what we need to. And then that translates or passes over to everybody else who gets to benefit from the lower prices that we offer.
And so that's one of the things, is that you're really about providing organic food at the best price possible for your clients.
I would say so, without all the gimmicks, without all the extra bits and pieces and the free offerings, and we just give low prices all the time.
Wonderful, wonderful. So that is great. So how many people now are you actually servicing? And I mean, I know that you have a 6-weekly cycle, is that right, for people to pick up their produce?
Yes.
Yep.
So as far as on a regular basis, probably up to about 250 families.
Wonderful, yep.
Every 6 weeks.
Yep.
We also have the Healthful Home range, Healthful Life range, which is personal skincare products. That also helps families and their scope a little bit more. So on average, 8 orders a year, 250 families benefit.
Wonderful. And it's not just a business, because behind us, that you'll see in a moment, there's this amazing community of people that you've built up to actually be a part of Healthful Pantry. So more than a business, it's actually a community that you're building. And do you find that community actually, they feed off one another, they help one another, and it actually has a great benefit to not only them individually, but the community as a whole?
The people that come and help do get a discount off their order.
Yep.
So the group helps pay for that as well. And they work together and they learn from each other, they enjoy the company. It's my favourite day of all.
Yeah.
In the whole 6-week cycle, this is the day that I really enjoy.
Okay. So how many helpers do you have?
Usually up to about 20.
20, wow.
That's a couple of hours, 2, maybe 3 hours tops. They come for an hour if they like.
Yep.
And we learn from each other. And that's
isn't
what I love.
laughter, fun and community, really it's just a great healing atmosphere for people to be involved in, particularly if you're sick or you've got problems in your family with your kids, to be able to come along, to have a bit of fun, to have a community that you can talk to. It really does help break down some of that stress that a lot of people are feeling. And do you find that that's what people say?
Most definitely, and they keep coming back, so they must enjoy it.
Oh, that is fabulous. So now the question is, there's a lot of stuff out there. Why organic? What is so important about organic compared to, say, other produce you can get in say, the Coles or Woolies or those sort of places?
We don't know what's going on our food.
Yep.
Pesticides, chemicals. We don't know what chemical combination is occurring before we even get the food to our plate. We don't know what effects it will have on us long term. We all know that we're getting unhealthy to some extent, and food seems to be a fairly big common denominator. So if you don't know what you're eating, you don't know what the outcome may be.
Yep.
So putting the best healthy food in now is better than medical care perhaps later on in life.
Yep, absolutely. Oh, we have a saying that the first 40 years your body takes notes, the next 40 years it reads them back to you. And I think it's very applicable for this, because what you put in, you tend to get out, don't you? So.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah. And so with the produce then you're getting, how can you guarantee that it's organic, or how do you assess what foods you get and what you don't?
Certification.
Yep.
Generally I deal with very reputable companies, always, not generally. The certification, and I'm fairly choosy myself. I read labels. My story began because I had to start reading labels because of my son and his allergies, and I don't put anything on the order form that I would not probably consider myself to be what I would eat.
Wonderful. Finally, what are your 2 favourite products that you sell? I know I've just been eating those macadamias, which were beautiful, mind you. But what is your favourite 2 products?
My favourite would be cashews,
Yep.
whole cashews. They've got a flavour that's like no other. They're not salted, they're raw, they're organic. My other favourite product would be probably almonds, but I like our insecticide-free almonds. So they're not organic, they're our most popular product, but I like to activate them so that they go into the oven for 24 hours and they come out crunchy and
Beautiful.
amazing.
Yes. Wonderful. Well, look, thank you everyone for joining us, and thank you Sonia and
Thank you,
Wendy
Simon.
for joining us. It's been wonderful to hear the story and the amazing heart behind this organisation that is really helping people's lives be transformed through healthy lifestyle and healthy living. Look, thank you very much for joining us. We've got an incredible interview lined up for you next week. So remember, have a great week. Wednesday, 12:30. We'll see you next week. Remember, healing is a gift, health a responsibility. See you later. Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. So
And
then,
it's done.
so then you do the next one, take the air out of it, seal it.
I'll take the air out of it. All right.
Thank you. And what are you doing next month? We might get you in to help on repack day.
Okay. Gee, it's a tough job.
Woo! One of many.
Look at that. That's perfect.
Keep going.
Get the air out.
Yes, take the air out.
What do you want me to do next?